The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are NC.
After almost spitting up a save on Thursday, Jose Valverde was tested again last night. Down by 2, the Royals built another ninth-inning rally by loading the bases. Tying run at second base, the winning run at first. The Tigers squirming in the dugout, and Billy Butler at the plate. But once again, the Royals had to endure another Valverde celebration dance. Game 3 with the Tigers is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Blue Cochaver gets the ball tonight at Kauffman Stadium as the Royals celebrate 100 years of Buck O'Neil. They would like to celebrate with a win as the Tigers have taken the first 2 games of the series 3-1 and 6-4. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Royals Hall of Famer Frank White. I'm Ryan Lefevre. It's also Law Enforcement Heroes Night at the ballpark. We'll have more on that a little bit later on. We have 2 more games to go before the All-Star break. Frank remembers what that feels like. Everybody wants to finish strong, take some good feelings into the break. Nobody's finishing stronger than Melky Cabrera.
And you're right. From day one of spring training, no Royal has been more consistent than Melky Cabrera when it comes to his offense, defense, and his base running. And he had a great night Thursday where he goes into right center field to save a run with a diving catch. And here he cuts down Alex Avila trying to stretch a single and a double. Nice one-hop throw to Alcides Escobar. And offensively, 3 hits last night and even a stolen base in the game. So overall, Melky Cabrera is happy with his first half of this season.
2 weeks ago, we were talking about how this was the best first half in Melky Cabrera's career, and he just keeps adding on to the numbers. And he's in the top 10 in outfield assists, base hits in the American League, and total bases. Second to Melky, as far as finishing strong in the first half, would be Alex Gordon, who had 3 more hits last night. He has a 10-game hitting streak at Kauffman Stadium, where he's hitting .447. We'll take a look at the Tigers lineup tonight when we come back. Royals baseball is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. When you play, students win. And the Tigers have won the first 2 games, both by 2 runs. Here's how they're lined up tonight.
Well, Andy Dirks is still back there in the #1 spot. Had a great night last night, and Johnny Peralta is getting a day off today, and he will be replaced at shortstop by Ramon Santiago.
It'll be the 3rd time this year that the Tigers face Luke Hochevar. Hochevar 1-1 against Detroit. Now he's given up 5 home runs in his 2 starts against the Tigers, but the home runs really haven't hurt him. In fact, all 5 of the home runs have been solo home runs. And Luke, being a contact pitcher, the defense is always important for him, and here's how they're lined up tonight.
Well, the defense is Mel Cabrera's in center field, and you got the same infield with Betterman replacing Moustakas at third base, and Matt Trainer will be replacing Pena behind the plate.
And early on, we showed you some great defensive plays turned in by Melky Cabrera in this series. And really, it's been a great defensive series for the entire Royals defense. Luke Hochevar will need more of that tonight. The first pitch with the Tigers is next. Kauffman Stadium in high definition, brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Get no-fee HD with digital TV from Time Warner Cable. And standing by out in left field is Joel Goldberg.
Well, Ryan, wearing some special shirts tonight. It is that time of the season, the annual Law Enforcement Heroes Night at the ballpark. So wearing the Fraternal Order of Police golf shirts here tonight, and police officers from all around the area a chance to bring their families. Kansas City and Kansas police officers, Missouri police officers. We see these guys out here working at the ballpark all the time, by the bullpens, the dugouts, throughout the crowds. A chance for them to bring members of their family here and enjoy Royals baseball. We are definitely honored to be wearing their shirts out here as well tonight, and certainly thankful as well that they are not black shirts. Nice light blue sitting here in the sun. We appreciate that as well, but definitely glad to be wearing them, guys.
All right, Joel, and it's only going to get warmer with the day game tomorrow at 1:10. Here's the Kia report on Luke Hochevar. So 5-8, making his 19th start and his 3rd this year against the Tigers. And the question mark that hangs over his head every start, Frank, is what will Luke Hochevar do after 3 innings?
And that's the big key. And he's one of those guys to get off to a great start, and he hits a wall right there in that middle part of the game. And that's the one area that everybody's waiting to see how well he pushes through. So he has gone 7 innings. He's gone through that before, but of late it's been a sort of a boogable about him, I would say. It's kind of strange.
Good start as he gets Andy Dirks on a ground ball to second base. On Sunday at Colorado, the Royals won 16-8, and Luke went 4 innings, giving up just 2 singles and no runs, but then 3 walks in the 5th, gave up 5 runs and had to come out in the 5th inning. And then we found out after the game that he had a stiff back, the result of sliding earlier in the game. So the Royals will be keeping a close eye on that as he misses low to Ramon Santiago. Johnny Peralta, who found out he was going to the All-Star game yesterday, gets the night off. So Santiago, a good glove man, will be at short. And Chris Getz, with an almost identical ground ball, throws out Santiago 2 away. 90 degrees. Game started right on time at 6:10. Everything is right on time. Buck O'Neil night. Time and temp brought to you by the parking spot. Easy to spot, easy to park. The parking spot at KCA. Brennan Bosch batting third. Maglio Ordonez getting the night off as well. Ordonez hit his 30th career home run against the Royals in the first inning last night. So it's Bosch batting third. Bedamine running into foul ground and almost ended up in the suite. They don't advertise that on the brochure. You'll be right on the field. You'll enjoy some delicious food and drink, and at some point a Royals third baseman's going to drop by.
Drop right in on you. That was a tough play right there. That's one of those plays where you go down and try to dive. You're too close to the railing to do that. So he did the next best thing and tried to protect himself.
That is a 7-pitch, 2 ground out, 1 strikeout inning for Hochevar. Left-hander Charlie Furbush with this batting order.
But there's been some changes in the Royals order tonight. Wilson Bedamine is in there for Moustakas at third base, and Matt Traynor replaces Brian Pena.
And for the first time, the Royals will be facing 25-year-old Charlie Furbush. What can they expect to see tonight?
That is fastball slider change. He's a guy that really comes right at you. And I was talking to Jim Leland, Ryan, before the game, and he couldn't remember who did the study, but it was found out that Furbush, when he releases the ball to the plate, he's closer to the hitter than any pitcher in the American League.
Well, he's 6'5", so he's got a long reach. He is from LSU, drafted in the 4th round in 2007. So that means for a time pitching for those Tigers, the LSU Tigers, he was a teammate of the Royals, Lewis Coleman. .92 with a fastball, and it's inside to Chris Getz. Furbush making just his 2nd major league start. His first 12 appearances this year were out of the bullpen.
Well, you can see that little herky-jerky about his delivery, and Jim Leland referred to it as he has a funky delivery. So anything that creates a little deception in a left-hander is a plus.
2 balls and 1 strike on Getz. Getz was thrown out of the game after making the final out in the bottom of the 4th inning by then first base umpire Tom Hallion, who is now just a few feet away from Chris, calling the balls and strikes tonight. Two and two. Now, you weren't thrown out very often, were you? Not at all. Not until you were a coach, right?
Yeah, not at all in my playing career.
I would think that would be a bit awkward. I mean, I know it's part of the game, but first thing that Chris Getz does when he gets to the plate tonight, the first guy he sees is a guy that threw him out the night before.
Well, the best thing you do is make peace. I mean, he's the umpire behind the plate, and, you know, it was a close call. Just go up there and just say, hey, Tom, nice night, keep moving.
Here are the Tigers defensively tonight. So Austin Jackson, Maglio, Ordonez are out. So it's Dirks, Wells, and Bosch in the outfield. Brandon Inge and Johnny Peralta also getting the night off. So a new left side of the infield with Kelly and Santiago. And Alex Avila is behind the plate. Charlie Furbush is from Portland, Maine.
You know, right now, there's a lot of days you thought you were going to get kicked out, but you didn't get kicked out. But I made a deal with the manager. I said, I'm going to do enough to let you know that I don't agree with what's going on. If I don't see you coming, then I'm just going to walk away and let it go, because I really felt like being in the game was my value to the ball club.
1 ball, 1 strike on Melky. Melky has hit in 7 straight. He is 3rd in the American League with 109 hits. And speaking of hits, congratulations to Derek Jeter, Melky's former teammate with the Yankees. He didn't have much trouble with 3,000 hits at all. He had 5 hits today.
What a great day. This came within a triple of hitting for the cycle.
Becoming the 2nd major leaguer in history to hit a home run for his 3,000 hit. He did it today against the Rays. And the only other player to do that was Wade Boggs, who was playing for the then Tampa Bay Devil Rays. So after a strikeout, Furbush walks Cabrera 1 on, 1 out. Charlie Furbush taking the spot in the rotation that first belonged to Phil Coke. And we've seen Coke come out of the bullpen in the first 2 games of this series. So 12 appearances out of the bullpen, and then on Monday taking a loss against the Angels. That was his first major league start. He gave up 3 runs in 4 2/3 innings, so he's still rebuilding his pitch count. Ball 1 to Alex Gordon.
Well, left-handed hitters coming in this game are only hitting 229 against Furbush, so it shows he can be pretty tough on lefties, and that was in 35 at bats.
We'll get 3 left-hand batters tonight: Getz, Gordon, and Hosmer. One and 1. Well, he's been consistent since the first game of the season. Well, not the first game. He had a tough first game, but from that point on. Here we are on the 9th day of July, and Alex working on his best month of the season. 2 balls and 1 strike. In this series, 8 at-bats, 4 hits. He had 3 of those hits last night, including driving in a run.
Yeah, I talked to Kevin Seitzer about Alex before the game, Ryan, and he said it wasn't an easy sell going back in December. He had to really hear it come from Alex that he was ready to make that change, and it was one of those things that, are you ready to make this change? You know, questions like, do you think you can hold on to it? Do you think you can carry it into the season? And he had to feel confident in what Alex was saying back to him, that this was going to work. And I think that when you get that kind of relationship and where the player's got to sell you on how he feels about a change, then it makes it great for the coach. And he said once he was convinced that Alex was serious, then they went to work, and it was a great relationship ever since.
Because we're talking about the offseason.
Yeah, the offseason, yes.
So, I mean, I can see where Kevin's coming from. I mean, if Alex isn't going to buy into the work, it's a waste of his time as much as it is a waste of Alex's time.
And that's what he was saying. And so he said that it was okay to work, but you work it to a purpose. And before that would work, he had to believe that he was doing the right thing.
Melky jumps over the ground ball as Alex singles to right. So he has 5 hits in the series, and now Melky made a move toward third, but not going anywhere. Well, Alex didn't hit it hard, but as Frank said last night, there's always a base hit to the right side with a runner at first.
That base hit's there every time, and all you got to do is just get it in the right spot. And Alex hits it on the end of the bat. And Melky, that may have cost him his first and third right there when he jumped over that baseball, but good execution.
So 2 on for Billy Butler, who didn't have to wait very long to try and make up for the final out of last night's game. The Royals loaded the bases, down by 2 in the 9th, with Billy coming up against Jose Valverde. And Billy flied to right field to end the game. Down and in, ball 1.
Billy should feel pretty confident of getting a good pitch to hit in this at bat with first base occupied. If first base wasn't occupied and he had a left-hander coming up next, he probably wouldn't get much to hit. But with first and second there, I would, from Billy, I'm looking for something to hit in this at bat.
Tigers have pitched him well. He's just 1 for 9 with an RBI in the first 2 games. And a slider is in for a strike, 1-1.
Furbridge doesn't look like he's that quick to home plate, and it wouldn't surprise me if Cabrera took off for third base.
And line to right field, base hit. Melky throws. So he didn't read that off the bat at all. That wasn't close to anybody. That was well over the infield, well in front of Bosch, but he stopped halfway between second and third, so it cost the Royals a run.
Yeah, that should have been an easy read right there on this line drive. It's well over second base. You know where the right fielder is. When this ball is hit, his first 2 steps, he's got to keep going right there. So I'm not sure what he saw, but whatever he saw, it made him freeze, and that's why you have bases loaded instead of running across home plate.
Now, we pointed this out last night. Normally, it is not a good thing for a pitcher when the manager takes the first trip to the mound. But Jim Leyland's a little different. He is not bashful about making that first trip.
Well, I think one thing he does when he goes out there, he's not talking fundamentals. You know, he's talking about being aggressive, challenging the hitters, being in the strike zone. There's always going to be something along those lines, along concentration and just go after these guys. And where a pitcher coach, sometimes he'll go out and he's basically talking about fundamentals a lot of times.
So a good spot for Eric Hosmer. Bases loaded, 1 out. Grounds it to first. Cabrera runs towards second. Throw back to first is not in time. The Royals get a run. So Cabrera comes down from third, and the Royals lead 1-0.
Well, Miguel does a good job ranging to his right, and he makes a nice play to second base, but Hosmer runs pretty good and beats the throw back to first base, and Cabrera does a good job coming on down to third base. You know, lefty's got to get over there and try to get himself set up for this return throw. But Hosmer runs a little bit too fast. You can see right there, that was an easy trek down the first baseline for Eric Hosmer. And that lefty, if he can get there early, get his feet set, that's a much easier play.
First and third for Jeff Francoeur. And Furbush misses outside for ball 1. Like Melky Cabrera, Jeff Francoeur has hit in 7 straight games. 3 out of 7 in this series with an RBI. Right into the Tiger dugout, and there was no reaction time at all. So that was just a well-placed foul ball. The Tigers froze like a collection of statues as that ball ricocheted in and out of the dugout.
How do you do that? I mean,
that's just good luck that Francoeur didn't hit it right at somebody.
I mean, to be able to hit a ball like that, I mean, this ball is way in and down.
And now Furbush not 100% confident with the sign that he got from Avila, so going to think it over, and they'll go through the signs again. Francoeur is hitting .269 overall with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. He's even better than that at .283. 1-2. In tonight's pregame show, you may have heard Jeff Francoeur's interview with Aaron Crow, his second installment of Talking Frenchie. Hosmer takes off. He got a great break, but with 2 strikes, Francoeur has to swing at anything close. So Hosmer goes back to first, and if you missed it tonight, you can see it tomorrow during Hy-Vee Royals Live. Francoeur going with the visor look during the interview.
Nice warm day. Thinking golf. No, just kidding.
Left field and deep. Back goes Dirks at the track, and he runs it down. And using his speed to adjust, he didn't get a great read, but he makes the play. The Royals get 1. the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By Panera Bread Catering. Order online at PaneraKansas.com. And by Chevy. See your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. "100 years of Buck O'Neil celebrated tonight at Kauffman Stadium. Buck's brother threw out the first pitch before tonight's game. And did he do it in typical Buck fashion? A pretty good pitch there. He threw it at the knees, or oh no, okay, that wasn't him. Buck would do that little routine where he would wind up, take a few steps closer to home, wind up, take a few more steps. And that first pitch routine never got old.
Oh, he just has such a great imagination.
Miguel Cabrera just 1 out of 7 in the first 2 games. He has not driven in a run. He is in the middle of a 4-4-30 skid. That batting average, 478, is his best against any pitcher with at least 23 at-bats. So in his mind, he's going to get his swing healthy tonight. Just a little bit outside. Ochever very impressive in the first. 2 weakly hit ground balls to second base and then just blew away Brennan Bosch with a fastball. And a sinking fastball strikes out Cabrera.
Looks come out strong in the first couple innings here, Ryan. Good run on that fastball just underneath the swing. And that's a typical Luke sinker that falls down low. If he stays down there and gets in the swing at it, he should have some success tonight.
Now a pitch to Victor Martinez. And Martinez so far has had a pretty quiet series. 1 hit, 1 RBI. But he has been on a roll for a long time. In his last 40 games, he's hitting .342. He has 24 doubles in those last 40 games. A dangerous hitter at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pretty good balance on both sides. But more dangerous from this side. Batting average, home runs, and RBIs. Of course, he'll have more at bats every year as a left-hand hitter. Now he's down in the count, 1-2.
Yeah, Luke's not wasting any time. He wants the ball, and he's back on top of the rubber, and he's ready to go.
And that's stroked into the right field corner. And Victor Martinez with yet another double. So runner at second with 1 out. Join us tomorrow for Kids Fest at Kauffman Stadium with special appearances from Nickelodeon stars SpongeBob SquarePants and Dora the Explorer. The first 8,000 fans aged 14 and under will receive a Royal Superhero Cape presented by U.S. Toy. Tomorrow at 1:10 and then the All-Star break. And now a curveball is low to Donald Kelly. 1 at bat so far, and that was on Thursday night. Came on as a defensive replacement late in the game and then batted once in the 9th, and he hit a home run off of Aaron Crow, which gave the Tigers a 2-run lead going into the bottom of the 9th, and they won that game 3-1. So Kelly going into right on Thursday. He plays at third base tonight. Brandon Inge gets the night off. One and two.
Yeah, the Tigers have a lot of versatility in their players, and I think Jim Leland kind of likes that. You with Rayburn able to play the infield, outfield, and you got Casper Wells who can play all the outfield positions. Dirks can play all the outfield positions. So being able to have a guy like Kelly who can play the outfield but also come in to play the infield, that's a plus for a manager.
Here's Brandon Inge. Two balls, two strikes.
So Brandon Inge would have to be the emergency catcher.
Came up as a catcher.
Yes, he
did.
It
was a pretty good one. Grounded to Hosmer. He backs up to get a big hop. Gets it to Hochevar in time. 2 outs. With Victor Martinez going to third base.
Yeah, Hosmer, what's good about this play, you recognize the hop, and they always say make the hop as long as possible or as short as possible to give yourself a better chance to handle the ball. He does a good job of getting it, letting his body go right around with it, getting back in a position where he can give Hochevar a nice feed at first base.
You'll remember this because you were coaching when he played for the Royals, but when Jeff Conine would play first, never saw anything like it, but he would field that ground ball and he would throw overhand hard to the pitcher right away. He'd get it to him really early so the pitcher had plenty of time to catch the ball, find the bag, and run to the bag.
And that's an art to that, too. A lot of guys can't do that because most guys are taught to feed the ball to the base. And so if you have the ability to hit a pitcher on the run chest high, that's pretty good.
Alex Avila on base 3 times last night, 2 walks and a single. And the single put an end to an 0-for-11. He'll be the starter at the All-Star game for the American League behind the plate. And now we'll be joined by 4 teammates. So 5 Detroit Tigers. They'll be on their way to Phoenix after the game tomorrow. Slider is low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Johnny Peralta, Miguel Cabrera, Jose Valverde, and Justin Verlander are the other All-Stars. The Royals will face Verlander tomorrow. Jeff Francis will pitch for KC. 3-1.
Yeah, Vila's done a good job laying off that curveball. He just kind of shows that he probably sees it right out of Luke's hand and realizes it's going to be low. He's got nice quick hands at the plate and has good power to left center field.
And going with a cut fastball, 92 miles an hour with that movement. Wow. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And right in a perfect spot, too. I mean, it looks like a fastball knee high, and all of a sudden it moves down underneath the swing. And then some guys will use a slider in that situation, but that cutter broke like a slider.
Becky came back with the same pitch. Might have gotten a piece of Matt Trainer on the foul ball. Hochevar very aggressive with his fastball in the first inning and in the beginning of this inning, and then Victor Martinez got around on a fastball and doubled into the corner. Now Hochevar starting to mix it up a little more. Martinez at third with 2 outs. Royals just scored in the bottom of the first. Eric Hosmer reaching on a fielder's choice, driving in a run. And Avila gets on a curveball, pulls it to Hosmer, and that's the inning. For tonight, what do you think is the most impressive accomplishment as a Yankee? And this is a good list. Lou Gehrig, who had the consecutive games played record until Cal Ripken Jr. broke it. Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak has survived. Roger Maris, that was the once unthinkable record to be broken. 60 home runs hit by Babe Ruth. Roger Maris surpassed that in 61. And then how about Derek Jeter's the only Yankee with 3,000 hits?
That's surprising.
Yeah.
They've had so many great players there. But I think that 56-game hitting streak, that's amazing.
A rocket to left field. And Wilson Betemit starting at third base tonight as a leadoff single. So text 432-432, enter keyword Royals, followed by a space, A for Gehrig, B for DiMaggio, C for Maris, and D for Jeter. And if you enter, you'll get information on how you can register for a chance to win a suite for you and 11 guests to a future Royals game here at Kauffman Stadium. So follow directions provided in the bounce back text message. Matt Trainer showing bunt, taking a strike. Ryan Pena starting the first two games. And behind the plate for Danny Duffy and Kyle Davies. So Trainer starts for the first time. And that's lined to left field. Dirks picks it off deep. Betemit on his way to third. He's in with a head first slide. First and third, nobody out.
Matt Trainer picks on a fastball, ran down and in, and he drives his ball in the left center field. And Wilson Betemit going over for first base. You know, as you see, Dirks cut this ball off and gets it back in. It kind of hesitated a little bit as he went around second before he could take it to third base. So a lot of times we haven't played in a while and you get back on the field, you really want to be sure that you don't make any mistakes, and that sometimes will cause that hesitation.
Alcides Escobar with runners at the corners. He does not have a hit yet in this Royals-Tigers series. He does have a sacrifice bunt, otherwise 0 for 6. Royals scored in the first inning. Eric Hosmer's fielder's choice got Melky Cabrera to the plate. Oh, 0-2. Furbish opened the game by striking out Chris Getz. But then a walk, 2 singles, then a run home, and now in the second inning, back-to-back base hits. So the Royals have 5 runners already, and they're not all the way through the first time. 1-2.
That 1-2 count from most lefties in the situation to a right-handed hitter. They'll try to throw a breaking ball down and in and try to get him to hit the ball on the ground to the corner.
Two and two.
Oh, that one kind of got away. The one thing about being a hitter, Ryan, is that you kind of know what they want to do. You just got to make it be a strike. So you can kind of know what the tendencies are in different counts, but they have to make the pitch. They have to execute.
Chopped over the mound. Santiago. No double play. An RBI, and the Royals lead 2-0.
You can see where Furbush wanted to go down with that breaking ball, and he got Escobar to pound it into the ground. But it's a perfect ball for Escobar to beat the first base, and he got himself an RBI at the same time. He's not happy with it, but did something positive.
And now the Royals will try and get a look at the Charlie Furbush move over to first base with good speed at first and good speed at the plate. Escobar has 13 stolen bases. Furbush struck out Getz in the first inning. There's the move. A good jump from Escobar. And he is safe as Cabrera. Boy, he didn't give Santiago a good feed, but the Tigers had to rush that play. Escobar has stolen 14.
It really wasn't a good throw by Charlie Furbush here. This is where you want to throw chest high, but he threw it down, and Cabrera tried to be quick, and throwing down low like that, the ball will run to the outfield side. So that was a good pickoff, but wasn't a good throw.
Slider stays inside. Ball one to Getz. Chris Getz last night ejected for the first time in his major league career. And he's about as calm and easygoing as any of the Royals.
Yeah, I talked to him about it, Ryan, and he kind of liked the explanation of how he probably should have used the front part of his foot on the base rather than pretty much his whole foot, but and we still felt he probably beat it. But I asked him, I said, well, did anything come with that point last night? And after halftime, Allen said, that's enough. He just gave me a smile.
At the knees, 2 balls and 1 strike. And that's grounded through the left side. Dirks was shallow and left. So he's on the ball quickly, and Escobar has to hold at third base. Royals with 5 hits. And now 2 on for Melky Cabrera as we go to Joe Goldberg.
Well, you guys were talking about Derek Jeter and his 3,000th hit. Only one of those 3,000 came against Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. He was 1 for 7 in his career against Monty. That hit came on August 2nd, 1996 here in Kansas City. A tie game going to the 10th inning. Now, Monty gave up a home run to Cecil Fielder. There's another runner on base, and he gives up a ball that's going deep to the outfield. Johnny Damon crashed into the wall and got hurt. Ends up being an inside the park home run. So the only hit ever for Jeter against Monty, an inside the park home run. Apier had gone 9 innings. Monty's in there in the 10th and gives up 3 runs. Dwight Gooden had gone 9 innings. Some guy named Mariano Rivera came in the bottom of the 10th. Gave up 4 runs against the Royals. Monty the winner, Rivera the loser, and that was Jeter's only hit. Guys?
Now you tell that story, Joel, and for me a light bulb goes off.
Last year.
Remember last year, Derek Jeter had an inside the park home run, and David DeJesus was injured. Done for the year.
I think 96, that was first year.
95, he came up at the end of the year. But 96 was the year he was rookie of the year. Our Sprint You Call It question for tonight. What do you think is the most impressive accomplishment as a Yankee? It's a powerful list of achievement. Melky Cabrera, Derek Jeter's former teammate in New York, walked and scored in the first inning. 1 ball, 1 strike.
talked to Kevin Seitzer about Melky and his hitting, and he said that when I said, "What's the difference?" He said when he got here, he had to make a lot of changes. He's more of a pull hitter, had problems driving the ball the other way with power, and he had to just reintroduce him to an approach. Being loaded on his backside, just selling him on just driving the ball into the middle of the field. And he said it took him a little while to buy into it, but once he started having success with it, they started staying back and staying through the ball. Then his power to the opposite field got better. It's something he didn't have before the Royals picked him up last year.
Squirted foul off to the first base side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Melky has among his 109 hits, and he has moved the ball around to all fields. He has 11 home runs, which is more than he had last year in 147 games, and just 2 shy of his career high. He has 49 RBIs, which is 7 more than he had all of last year. Best season he's had in the big leagues as far as driving in runs, 73.
Yeah, Kevin said that one thing that really helps a hitter when he wants to try to drive the ball into the alleys is they got to have some kind of lower half usage. They got to learn how to use their legs, and that's one thing that he wasn't doing.
Some of the great power hitters from the 50s and the 60s. Hank Aaron is one that comes to mind. Wasn't very tall, wasn't really big, but man, his trunk, if you will, his midsection, his legs. The late Harmon Killebrew is the same way. Melky strikes out. That's a big strikeout for Furbush, and it's his second. Harmon Killebrew was not very tall, but this stocky and those legs.
He has some torque. Bo Jackson believed in torque. And he believed in it so much that he put it on his license plate.
51% agree with Frank that the most impressive accomplishment as a Yankee, Joe DiMaggio's streak, which has survived over time. That was a good year for the hitter. That was the same year that Ted Williams hit over 400. Alex Gordon singled to right in the first inning. So Alex has an 11-game hitting streak at Kauffman Stadium. Trying to pick up Escobar at third base. Chris Getz is the runner at first. Charlie Furbush out of Maine, Portland, Maine. And that's a state where everything blooms late. And you can say the same thing about Furbush, who first went to college at a Division III school. St. Joseph's. Was there for 2 years before transferring to LSU. And then that's when he caught the attention of the professional scouts. Tigers took him in the 4th round in 2007. The very next year, and you can see the scar on his left elbow. He had the Tommy John surgery. Made his big league debut on May the 23rd for the Tigers this year, and he won. Pitching out of the bullpen, beat the Tampa Bay Rays. One ball, 2 strikes. Can you name a somewhat recent Royal who was born in the state of Maine? Or I should say lives in the state of Maine. Born on the other side of the border.
No, can't think of it.
Matt Stairs.
I thought about Matt. That's right in Canada on the other side, right?
Just south of. Now you're going to test my geography. New Brunswick. I think that's where Matt was born, in New Brunswick, but now lives in Bangor, Maine, which is also the home of author Stephen King.
Oh, boy.
Who's made Bangor, Maine famous. Gets runs, and Alex pulls it foul off the right field line. Coming up on Tuesday, baseball's biggest stars will gather together in Arizona for the Major League All-Star Game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on Fox. And don't forget, you can see a special world premiere sneak preview of the upcoming Fox show, The X Factor, during the broadcast. After enjoying a 4-day All-Star break the past several years, this year the Royals with just a 3-day break. They'll be playing again on Thursday in Minnesota. Avila blocks the pitch in the dirt, 2-2.
Chris Getz is getting some pretty good reads on Furbush at first base. So first time he went, he stopped, and then the next time he went, the ball was fouled off, and just one of those things where you may go first move if you got a good enough jump.
Still 2-2. Royals with run in the first and one in the second, and Furbush already coming up on 50 pitches. This is pitch number 49. And Getz got a huge break. Nothing Avila can do, especially with the pitch in the dirt. So the Royals have swiped 2 in the inning. And now 2 runners in scoring position for Alex Gordon.
Well, you can tell Chris Getz had him read all the way. And there was just no chance. Whenever the catcher's got to put it in his back pocket, the base runner got a great jump.
And Alex hit by the pitch. Looked like he was thinking about swinging. Not what Furbush wanted to do. With 2 strikes on the left-hand batter, now he gets Billy Butler with the bases loaded.
Ooh, right on the top of the hand there. Almost like Alex didn't pick that fastball inside up early enough.
So Frank told you that Furbush much better against left-hand hitters. And he puts Alex on base. And now there's no place to put Billy Butler.
And these are situations that Billy really has to look for when you got a rookie batting behind you. You don't know if you're going to get pitched to or not. But in situations like this, bases loaded, you got to be ready to go.
Good pitch over the inside. And that is pitch number 50 for Charlie Furbush. Billy single to right in the first inning, helping set up the Royals' first run. Eric Hosmer grounded into a force out. That scored Melky Cabrera. In this inning, Alcides Escobar has grounded into a force out, and that scored Wilson Betemit. Two. Already going to work. Tigers have Adam Wilk throwing in the pen. Furbush only went 65 pitches on Monday against the Angels. So after 12 straight relief appearances, still building up his pitch count. And he has wasted quite a bit of his pitch count tonight in the first 2 innings. Even if the Royals get only 1 run in this inning, it is an accomplishment as they are getting closer to the Tigers bullpen. And pitching him inside again. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Butler. Two and two. then you add in the heat, 90 degrees at first pitch. So he's thrown 54. I'm sure he feels like he's thrown many more than that.
Yeah, you're right, Bernie. Just been a little bit all over the place with all of his pitches, and he'll show you flashes of a good fastball down and in, a good slider, but just being able to repeat those pitches has been tough so far.
Still 2-2.
You can see right there, Alex Avila wanted that pitch inside. He left it up out over the plate, and that's not uncommon with a lot of young pitchers. You just got to learn how to pitch, and mainly it's all about location, being able to hit the spots. You've gone over the game plan. You know where you want to pitch every guy, and it's just about going out there and repeating those pitches per at bat for each hitter that comes up there.
Grounded through the left side. 2 runs will score. So now it's a really long inning for Furbush and Jim Leland as the Royals lead 4-0.
Well, Billy had him where he wanted him. He had to get a good pitch to hit right there with the bases loaded. And you see right there, Billy follows his ball right to the bat and hit a hard ground ball in the left field. You see Escobar and see Getz go from second base. Well, Getz got a great jump off second base.
And a slider is called inside by Tom Hallion. Ball 1 to Eric Hosmer. Drove in a run as he grounded into a force out in the first inning, his 34th of the year. His first RBI in this series. Gordon at second base, Butler at first. Shallow left, and Dirks is there to make the catch. Royals with 1 in the first and now 3 in the second. By Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Let's go Royals. Well, that young lady has had her request answered by the Royals with 4 runs in the first 2 innings. So for the second straight start, Luke Hochevar has a big lead early in the game. Only allowed 1 base runner in the first 2 innings. Victor Martinez doubled. All of Luke's outs have been either on the ground or by way of a strikeout. And there's a line drive into left center. Alex cutting it off deep, or trying to. It's by him and to the bottom of the wall. And Ryan Rayburn opens the 3rd inning with a double.
I see Alex trying to cut this ball off, and the ball's hit way too hard, and just got by him right there into the alley. You see a line drive over shortstop, and there's a lot of area to cover, so it's all going to be about how much ground you give up to try to cut it off. So the ball just beat Alex to the spot that he was thinking he could beat the baseball.
No harm on the play, though. Rayburn would have had a double even if he cuts it off. Maybe a little faster runner, and the runner ends up at third base. Casper Wells with a couple of Tigers regular outfielders out tonight. Austin Jackson, Maglio Ordonez. So Dirks and Wells in the lineup. Wells started on Thursday, also had an at-bat as a pinch hitter last night. 1 for 5 with a double. And that's grounded to Betemit. One away. And we go back to the top of the order, and Andy Dirks out of Burton, Kansas, and Haven High School, went to Hutchinson Community College and Wichita State. Grounded out to second base in the first inning. And that's line towards right. Francoeur coming up. He'll have to play it on a bounce. Rayburn had to make sure it was going to drop. So he goes to third. Francoeur really played that well. He had me convinced that he looked like he was going to catch that ball.
Well, that's what good outfielders do, and you just don't want to give up. You want to. Some guys will throw their hands up, but he gets on the base anyway so fast. It makes a big difference. You see Rayburn bouncing off of second base, and really he can't really be sure, because Francoeur gave him the same impression too. But Casper Wells not being able to advance Rayburn at third base was a big play so far in this inning.
And back with a strike to Ramon Santiago. Playing at shortstop tonight, Johnny Peralta getting the night off. Santiago grounded out to second base his first time.
I asked Ramon before the game tonight, did he think he was a better second baseman or shortstop? And he thought he was a better shortstop.
Plays both positions very well. Originally out of the Tigers system, got to the big leagues in 2002. And he was with the Mariners for a couple of years, 2004, 2005. And then signed back on with the Tigers, and he's been with Detroit since 2006, the year they went to the World Series. Still no balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Rayburn opened the inning with a double. And with one out, Andy Dirks singled. Dirks has good speed, 3 stolen bases. He has been thrown out once. This is his 40th game of the year. Still 0-2. Tigers really don't run at all. They are the last team in the American League in stolen bases. They have 33. They have been thrown out 13 times, so they've only attempted 46. The Royals have been successful 90 times. The Royals have twice as many stolen bases just about as the Tigers have total attempts. So their offense is geared around swinging the bat. Not much balance between power and speed.
Yeah, you just have 1, maybe 2 guys on their team that actually steal bases, but you're right, the 3-run homer.
Detroit 6th in the league in home runs. And Santiago strikes out. Hochhaver going with a curveball down and away. And Luke has struck out 3.
Now, good depth on this curveball. It's on the outside corner. Santiago had to reach for it and didn't have enough bat to get there. Big strikeout for Luke.
Well, if you're Brennan Bosch here, you can expect to get a pitch to hit. The potential tying run is on deck, and his name is Miguel Cabrera. And Bosch lines it into center field, so he jumped on that first pitch. The Tigers are on the scoreboard. It is 4-1. And Hochevar will have to face Cabrera with 2 on, 2 out.
Well, you called it right there. Luke wanted to try to make something happen, but he threw a fastball right down the middle of the plate. And young hitters are always looking for that first pitch fastball down the middle, and Luke's unhappy with that pitch. And you can see Cabrera coming in. You see Raven coming in to score on that base hit.
And now Cabrera shoots it into center field. So the last 2 Tigers jumping on the very first pitch, and now it's 4-2.
No matter how bad you think Cabrera is swinging, he's always dangerous. And Luke tried to go back with that sinker down underneath his swing, left this one up a little bit more, and Cabrera stayed inside of it and hit it back through the middle.
You know what that looked like, Frank? And maybe I'm oversimplifying here, but it looked like a great hitter who can do a lot more than that, but not swinging the bat well at the moment. He looked like he took a little shorter swing and just tried to hit the ball hard up the middle when he could have swung for the fences. He's the tying run.
Well, that's true. And in the earlier bat, he did take that big swing, and so it didn't prove to be to his advantage. And almost like he wanted to watch this pitch play out. And by letting the ball travel and reading it a little bit better, now he just gets right inside of it. Nice short swing, like you said, right back through the middle.
Victor Martinez doubled his first time up. Almost hit on the foot. 2 balls and no strikes.
As a hitter, I think one of the prettiest things for a hitter to see is a line drive back through the middle. And it just looks so good coming off the bat. Everything it's almost like that's when you take your most perfect swing.
Just saved a run. Royals lead by 2 to the bottom of the 3rd. O'Neill, who was born in 1911. And in memory of Buck, one of his closest friends, Randall Ferguson, is sitting in the Buck O'Neill legacy seat. Randall was handpicked by Buck to serve on the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum's board of directors early in the museum's history. So it is an honor every day to sit in the Buck O'Neill legacy seat, but an even bigger honor on a night when the Royals are honoring Buck O'Neill. First base coach Doug Sisson said before the game tonight that he would lift up his pant legs to just below his knees in honor of Buck O'Neill.
That's always a great honor. Great sign of respect for an era gone, but not forgotten.
Royals with 1 in the first, 3 in the second against Charlie Furbush. Tigers just got 2 in the third, and they were on their way to scoring 3 if not for the great play by Chris Getz on the Victor Martinez line drive. Still no balls, 2 strikes on Frank Coeur.
Well, back in the second inning, we feel that the difference in this game right now is just hustling down the line of Escobar right here to get a run in. If he doesn't beat that throw, it's a double play. It's a tie ball game. Chris Getz makes a nice leaping catch. The game always boils down to little things, and some managers don't like to say little things, but fundamental things.
Deep center field, not deep enough. Casper Wells runs it down. It's the second deep fly ball for an out for Jeff Francoeur tonight, so he has just missed a couple of home runs. Take a look at tonight's league leaders, brought to you by your Kansas City area Toyota dealers. And with Derek Jeter hitting his 3,000th hit and then some today, going 5 for 5, the youngest to reach 3,000 hits. And we begin with the former Tiger, Ty Cobb, 34 years old, then Hank Aaron, Robin Yount, and Derek Jeter is 4th. If you haven't heard, Jeter was 2 shy of 3,000, and he got 5 hits today. His 3,000th hit was a home run off of David Price, no less.
That's even more impressive. I can imagine not feeling a ton of pressure. You play your whole career in New York, and that's probably the most pressurized city to play baseball in. Boston probably being second in the American League. So I don't think he feels the same pressure as most guys would feel in that situation.
Betemit is thrown out by Don Kelly, plus all the World Series games he's played in. George was just saying the other day, and Tony Gwynn said the same thing when we were in San Diego, 2 guys in a 3,000 hit club, that the last start to feel the pressure during the last 10, but when you really start to get close, the last 2, 3, or 4, you really begin to feel it. But Jeter just flew right by 3,000 hits. George had a big night the night he got 3,000, right? Didn't he have a 4-hit game?
I'm not sure. I know there was a hit to right field for his 3,000, but I don't know what he did the other at bats. But he had some pressurized situations in his career. You go back to the 30-game hitting streak. I mean, I remember press conferences every day for that. And the year he was hitting 390 in 1980. There was always something big around that, those at bats. So he's been in some high pressure situations throughout his career also.
Two and one on Matt Traynor. 1 for 1 with a second inning single.
No, the one thing about George, though, Ryan, that I just don't think there's anybody that played any harder than him. I mean, when it comes to stretching singles into doubles, when it comes to breaking up double plays, just whatever it took to win a ball game, he was ready to do it. Clutch hitting. That's why you see that number out there.
he paid the price for playing so hard. Lost a lot of games to his career, but it didn't cost him a trip to Cooperstown.
Nah, he was fun to watch on a daily basis.
Trainer walks with 2 outs, and that's been a Matt Trainer's specialty this year. Something that he has pointed out when asked about all of his walks. He has far surpassed his previous career high in walks. He has a very high on base percentage, despite a batting average that is below 220. And he said, for whatever reason, I've just been coming up quite a bit with 2 outs and nobody on base, and I'm just trying to take pitches to give my pitcher some more time in between innings. And by taking pitches, pitchers just aren't throwing him strikes, and that's how he's getting a lot of his walks. At the knees for a strike to Escobar.
Yeah, he's worked himself into some pretty good hitting counts. I can visually see Matt Trainer hitting line drives left center field on a regular basis. He got a big 2 out. He got a big 2-run RBI in the White Sox game. You know, I mean, he's just one of those guys that he's trying to take more pitches, but in the process, he's working himself into better hitting counts, too.
And now he's running. So Matt Trainer picks up his 2nd stolen base. Stealing on a left-hander.
But basically, they're just taking advantage of the slow delivery, and Doug Sisson, the first base coach, has obviously found something out about Charlie Furbush that the Royals are starting to exploit. You can see Aviles came up, tried to backhand that breaking ball, and just went away from his glove, and that's what really caused that wild pitch.
He has 4 career stolen bases, 2 this year. He has 3 home runs, so 1 more stolen base, and he's in the exclusive 3-3 club. Escobar, as we pointed out, hustling to beat a ground ball double play. Driving in a run, stole a base, and he came around to score. And now grounds it to short. Santiago doesn't field it cleanly. Eddie Rodriguez, third base coach, was paying close attention to it and made sure the trainer stopped at third. Oftentimes a runner will just kind of forget, think it's an easy out, and round third base, and that's where the out is recorded.
Well, that's true here. You can see Santiago really let this ball play him. He got his feet set early, and when you do that, the ball plays you, and the ball was able to get through his legs. And fortunate that it didn't go any deeper, which could have given the Royals another run. And you see that Eddie Rodriguez recognized how far the ball went by Santiago at shortstop, and he held Trainer at third base.
So Furbush really needed a low stress inning with an extremely high pitch count. He's at 75. I think that's 76 now with the pitch to Chris Getz, and we're only in the third inning. He was at 65 pitches in his last start, which was his first start of the year. So he's getting to the end of his rope, and now just hoping to get out of the third inning. Chris Getz pokes it into right field. So the Royals turn it into a run. It is 5-2. Escobar goes first to third. And Chris Getz has a 2-hit game. He drives in his 21st of the year.
Furbush leads a curveball up, and Chris Getz got out in front of it, but had enough to get a line drive over Cabrera at first base to get him an RBI. And you see Trainer comes in to score easily on the base hit.
And here's Jim Leland.
You can kind of tell by the way Jim Leland is wearing his hat coming out that he's a little frustrated coming to the mound. He's had to straighten it up.
So bad luck for Furbush. He should be in the dugout right now if the infield handles the ground ball. Tigers are ready in the bullpen if Leland makes a switch. But as we pointed out an inning ago, oftentimes Jim Leland will make the first trip to the mound, and oftentimes he will go to the mound, and we're anticipating a pitching change. But managers, and Jim Leland's one of the best. Very good at finding the right time to go out to the mound and trying to find the right words to give young Charlie Furbush some motivation to get through this inning. And now Melky grounds it into center field. It's 6-2.
That strategy didn't go the way Jim Leland wanted it to, and this ball goes right between Furbush's legs, right out into center field. You can see Escobar jogs home on that one. So nice short swings that the Royals are taking, just putting the ball in play.
Alex drives it to center field, deep. Back goes Wells, all the way back, gone for a 3-run home run. Some big hits after a big error. 5 unearned runs, and now the pitching change is made. A Chevy call to the bullpen. Adam Wilk with the Royals way out in front. Inning for the Royals, but because of this hop and the ball that got away from Santiago, a ground ball from Alcides Escobar, that would have ended the inning. The Royals got a couple of RBI singles and then a 3-run home run from Alex Gordon.
Well, that's the way you track a curveball right there. Furbush left his curveball up out over the plate. Now he's got a great extension and got through this ball, and this ball traveled out to left center field.
So Furbush doesn't get out of the 3rd inning. 2 2/3 innings, and now the Royals will see Adam Wilk for the first time.
I think Alex hitting that curveball, Ryan, gives you an idea of what kind of power he really has. And And to be able to track that curveball, stay behind it, and drive it to the deep center field, I mean, that just good extension on his part, but at the same time, it shows you the strength that Alex Gordon does have.
2 hits tonight. He's been hit by a pitch. He has driven in 3, so he has 50 RBIs this year. And now Billy drives it to the opposite field. Bosch back in front of the warning track, and that puts an end to the inning with damage done. Royals get 5 and lead 9-2. Go to the 4th inning and take a look at the wideband internet pitch speeds brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Up to 50 megabits per second of pure online power. Donald Kelly leads off. 2 big plays in the last 2 innings. First, Chris Getz leaping high in the air and taking a base hit and an RBI from Victor Martinez for the final out of the top of the 3rd. That ball goes over Getz. A run scores, and it's 4-3 Royals. And then a play that wasn't made in the bottom of the 3rd by shortstop Ramon Santiago, normally very sure-handed defensively, and that led to 5 unearned runs. And now the Royals have given Luke Hochevar a 7-run lead as Donald Kelly whacks it into right field. So he's 1 for 2. And that brings up the catcher Alex Avila. Rounded out to Hosmer in the 2nd inning. 1 ball, no strikes. Two balls, no strikes. Tigers beating the Royals. Cleveland lost last night to Toronto, so the Tigers were hoping to get into first place tonight, down by 7. Cleveland is trailing against Toronto. But the Tigers have their own problems here tonight, down 9-2 in the 4th inning. Telling you last night how good the Tigers have been against the Central Division. 17-7 after beating the Royals last night.
Well, that's pretty good within their division. That gives you a lot of confidence going forward. And Jim Leyland said, you know, they're happy with where they are. You know, he feels like they could play better. But since no one else in the division is really taken off, then they think they're situated in pretty good shape.
Jim Leyland took the Tigers to the World Series in 2006. They lost to the Cardinals. Avila cranked to deep right field. That's over Francoeur's head and up against the screen. Kelly will be held at third, and Avila has a double. Second and third, nobody out.
Yeah, a situation like this is where Luke's really got to toughen up, and you see this cutter right here. He went right into Avila's bat, and he just really did a good job throwing the hands out there. And this ball got over Jeff Francoeur's head in a hurry, and to hit at the base of the wall. And I can think that's why Bob McClure is on the mound right now, is just sort of reinforcing the fact that you do have a good lead to work with. You don't have to be so careful. You know, just get out there, make your pitches, and try to move the game along.
That's an all-star adjustment right there. Remember Avila when he was up last time? Luke threw him that cutter and he swung right over the top. So there's an all-star player who didn't take very long to figure out what Hochevar was trying to do to him tonight.
Yeah, he's kind of similar to what Cabrera did with that sinker that went down underneath the swing. He swung over and then he came up the next time, got the same pitch, and slowed everything down and hit the ball back through the middle.
Bob McClure taking as much time as Tom Hallion would allow him to go out there and talk to Luke, allow him to catch his breath.
And he had a little weight last inning, so he just got to get himself back in a groove, and that's what pitching is all about, being in rhythm.
To Ryan Rayburn. Rayburn doubled leading off the third inning. He scored on Brennan Bosch's single. One and one. Rayburn with good power. Going into last night's game, Rayburn had 8 home runs in 47 at-bats against the Royals. And he has a double tonight. He is also a hitter with a lot of strikeouts. The Royals have struck him out 3 times in this series. He has struck out 83 times this year, which is the 6th most in the league. And that's something Luke Hochevar could use here with runners at second and third and nobody out. Good fastball at 94. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Right on the outside corner, 4-seamer, ball stayed straight, and that's what you want to do when you throw to the corners. You don't want that fastball to run back out over the plate.
Tigers with just 1 hit, 1 base runner in the first 2 innings. And now 6 hits in the last inning plus. That got away from Luke, 3-2. Did he go? No swing. Cuzzy, the umpire at first base. And the Royals dugout barking at Cuzzy, thinking that Rayburn ran around, and now the bases are loaded with nobody out. That's Hochevar's first walk.
It puts a little pressure on Luke. He pretty much put the pressure on himself right here, where he's got to do something to try to get things moving in this inning. And the best thing is try to get your ground ball double play and just try to minimize damage.
Well, he gets the number 9 hitter with the bases loaded, and Casper Wells swings over a slider. Luke got him on a ground ball to third base in the 3rd inning. And it's 0-2. So Wells, who is a rookie, got to the big leagues last year, but didn't get enough at bats to shake off the rookie status. Not a regular player. An opportunity here for him to impress the manager as the Tigers are down by 7. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And it's an opportunity for Luke Hochevar, pitching with a big league, showing that he can get out of this.
Well, you're right, Brian. I think this is where the old saying, intestinal fortitude, kind of comes into play.
Royals want an appeal. They're not going to get it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Donald Kelly singled, Alex Avila doubled, and then Ryan Rayburn drew a walk.
Yeah, Luke is throwing a real good tight slider, but he's just not getting enough of the plate to make it enticing enough to get that check swing all the way through.
Francoeur is going to run out of room. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Royals just scored 5 in the bottom of the 3rd inning to give Hochevar a 7-run lead. Still 2-2. I was talking to one of your former teammates, Frank, John Wathen, who is scouting behind home plate. He spent a long time catching the big leagues, and it's interesting. You know, Duke was saying it's not so much about avoiding a bad inning. It's about the degree of the bad inning, because most pitchers at some point in every start, they're going to have 1 inning where their mechanics are off or they're missing their location.
Right.
And so that part, Luke he's really running uphill if he's trying to avoid that. I mean, those innings are just going to come. It's just how quickly can you turn things around when that bad inning comes?
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And you get a guy like Dennis Leonard. If you didn't get him in the first couple of innings, when he's still trying to find things out about the game itself, get the game going, and he gets stronger as he goes. And you're right. You're going to get 1 or 2 chances during the course of an outing where the team's going to have your back against the wall. And this is where the pitcher, the catcher work together to try to get you out of it.
They call strikeouts for Luke.
Yeah, they call it minimizing damage, but that's what you have to do. And he's got a good breaking ball, and he's been getting a lot of almost check swings, but he got a full swing on this one. So the breaking ball is there for him to just get him enough of the plate to get the guys to swing at it. The sinker's working well. So stuff is not the question today.
You can have a good inning, or a good outing, I should say, and have a situation like this, bases loaded, nobody out. But what do? Do you give up 1 run, or do you give up 3 or 4 runs?
We used to say we want to give when we're playing, we want to give ourselves at least 2 off. Oh, great play!
Not quite a double play, and the Tigers are going to get a run out of it. And Alcides Escobar taking a great play and almost turning it into a miraculous play.
I mean, he does a great job on this line drive by Dirks, and just tried to get this ball to Chris Getz best he could. You can see right here, 2 or 3 steps, a dive. But the runner got in the way of the throw. You can see right here, right off the top of the helmet.
So it's a line out and an error, and Escobar allowing Donald Kelly to score. And now Santiago, and he gets it past Hosmer. So coming around third base is Avila, and the Tigers come up with 2 in the 4th inning. And nobody was more motivated on that play than Santiago. It was his error in the bottom of the 3rd that led to 5 unearned runs. And now, even though you can't expect an out on the error committed by Escobar, the Tigers have turned it into 2 runs. And by the way, that's a base hit for Santiago, no error. Hosmer swiping at it at first base.
Well, he had some good top spin on it, and you know, Haas didn't really have a chance to get in front of this ball. You hope he can knock it down, but just he takes 3 steps to his right, and ball comes up and gets by him there. A lot of good top spin. Ball came up in the right field. Santiago gets a base hit and RBI.
So here we go again. Very similar to last inning. The big bats coming up. Bosch and Cabrera. And Bosch got a 2-out RBI last time up, swinging at the first pitch, as he does here, and he fouls it away.
You know, and I tell you what we were talking about earlier. When we used to go into a game, we used to say, okay, let's try to give ourselves 3 opportunities to score, and try to capitalize on 2 of them, because you know you're going to get 1. But when you're placing guys, say like a Roger Clemens, you may only get 1 opportunity to score. And if you don't make it count, then that keeps that game close. You usually lose a close ball game.
And that's grounded into left field. It's a 3-run inning. And now Hochevar's going to have to deal with Cabrera again. One more point about the conversation with John Wathan. I asked him over the years, what was the difference between guys who could get out of the tough innings as opposed to the ones who couldn't? And he said the good ones found a way to throw easier. That pitch got a lot of the plate, fouled off by Cabrera. It almost kind of goes to what Charlie Lau used to say when you guys would be struggling. Don't try harder, try easier. And Duke was saying that the guys that would vibrate, as they say, in innings like this would think that they have to throw harder. Their curve was harder, their slider was harder, their fastball had to be harder.
All right, just get back to making your pitch. Controlling the pitches that you can control. Know that you have command of them, and then make them work for you. Yeah, that was one of Tony Muse's favorite sayings, was they start to vibrate, and when they start to vibrate, you get them out of the ballgame.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Cabrera. He singled to center field last time up. Luke struck him out in the 2nd. Two on, 2 out. There's the extreme slide step, and if you're going to use it, you may as well use it against the best in the Tigers order.
Well, that's true, and you're trying to speed it up, and Matt Trainer got kind of a nasty foul ball right in the chest right there.
Two balls, 2 strikes. All of the Tigers' runs, and they've come in the last 2 innings, have also come with 2 outs. Bosch and Cabrera driving in runs with 2 outs last inning. The run scoring after the 2nd out was recorded in this inning on an error, And then back-to-back RBI hits. And Ochever really wanted that call. So did everybody here tonight. And it's 3-2 on Cabrera.
Well, he's really working the corner, and you know he's done a good job getting it out there. But Cabrera's a great hitter with it, and he's showing a lot of confidence in taking that pitch so close to the plate. He's one of the better two-strike hitters. You know, he's just as dangerous with 2 strikes as he is with 1 strike or no strikes on him.
Even with his run-scoring single in the 3rd, he's still just 5 for his last 32. And that RBI was his first in this series. Victor Martinez is waiting on deck. The runners go, and Cabrera takes ball 4 and walks for the 66th time this year. That's the 2nd most in the league. And all of a sudden, the potential tying run comes to the plate. 7 pitches in the first, 2 ground balls and a strikeout. And it's been trouble since then. So not what Luke and the Royals had in mind right after the Royals scored 5 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 3 runs home, 9 come to the plate. Victor Martinez has doubled, and he's lost a hit on a great play by Chris Getz. And he fouls the first pitch off of his foot. Where are we right now if Chris Getz doesn't make that play?
You get a good look at Chris Getz right there. Gets up real high, and that saved the run. And then possible another 1st and 3rd situation. And even the play that Escobar made, the diving stop to his right, I mean that saved the run there. But then making a throw to second base, doing the best you can to try to get a double play and hit the helmet. So that's one of those unavoidable things. But that would have turned the inning around also.
1 ball, 1 strike. Greg Holland now throwing in the Royals bullpen. Two and 1. Tough night to have a long inning. This is a 32 pitch inning. And the bottom of the 2nd, Charlie Furbush had a 33 pitch inning. Very warm night in Kansas City. Plus you got the defense standing around for a long time. And now it's 3 and 1. Well, there's no place to put Victor Martinez. We know that. But would you rather, in a 4-run game, give Victor Martinez something to hit or go after Don Kelly, who's waiting on deck?
I don't know. We saw Don Kelly park one in the bullpen the other night, so that's a tough call. But you know, managers would rather see the lesser of the two hitters do the job versus the guy that you know can do the job.
And Martinez pops it up. Betemit over to the Tigers dugout and missed it by a foot. Brandon Inge says, hey, I know the feeling. So that close to getting out of the inning. So with 3 balls and 2 strikes, the runners will be going. Whitey Herzog, the former Royals manager and now in the Hall of Fame, once said when he's trying to decide who to pitch to and who not to pitch to, he just counted up the zeros on each guy's contract. The guy with the more zeros is going to get pitched around.
Yeah, they also said that Who can beat me and I can still sleep at night?
There's a reason why Victor Martinez has so many zeros in his annual salary. There go the runners, and Martinez walks. It's a 3-run game. And it's a 3 2/3 innings game for Luke Hochevar. The runs for Detroit coming with 2 outs. So 9-6, and now a Chevy call to the bullpen, and Greg Holland comes on to face the 10th Tiger this inning. It is never easy, considering the competition you're going up against every night. But if there was anything closer to a layup for a win, I figure Luke Hochevar and the Royals thought this was going to be it tonight, with a 4-0 lead at the end of 2, and then a 9-2 lead at the end of 3. But the Tigers have scored 4, all with 2 outs. They have knocked Hochevar out of the game, and now Greg Holland on for the 4th and trying to keep the Royals in front. He has inherited 11 runners this year, stranded 10 of those, and that's an important number here because he inherits 3, as the Tigers have come up with 4 runs. They have batted 9 already, and this is Donald Kelly coming to the plate, his second at bat in this inning. He got the inning started with a single, and then he scored on a throwing error by Alcides Escobar, which, by the way, because of hits after the air, it does not result in an unearned run, just a further advance. Nobody reached on the air.
Yeah, that's tough on a manager too. You got a pitcher out there who looked like he had his stuff going for him, and you put up a lot of runs for him, and you got to take him out in the 4th inning. I mean, that's not what a manager wants to do, and that's always a tough call for a manager to go pull a pitcher when he's got that big a lead. But it's all about watching trends, and he's got to feel like, can he pitch himself out of it? And at some point he decides he can't, and that's when you got to go out and start thinking about the ball game at that point.
Line to center field. Melky Cabrera is there, and the long inning comes to an end. The Tigers get back into it. It is 9-6. Stadium. We remind you to look for the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment later in tonight's game. And now would be a good time. Royals just moments ago had a 9-2 lead before the Tigers got 4 in the 4th. It's been a good night for the Royals so far on offense. They have 9 runs, 9 hits in the first 3 innings. This is Adam Wilk, who replaced Charlie Furbush last inning and got the final out. Hosmer 0 for 2, but he has driven in a run. And Wilk is in for a strike. Royals with all 9 of their runs against Furbush, but because of an error by Ramon Santiago in the 3rd inning, 5 of the 9 runs were unearned. On the Royals side, Chris Getz helped bail out his teammate Lou Kochaver with a great play to end the top of the 3rd inning, and tried to help him out with what would have been 2 great plays in the top of the 4th. A diving play and a line drive by Alcides Escobar, almost an amazing double play. And the difference in that inning, a scoreless inning and a 4-run 4th inning, the difference is Alex Avila's helmet. Hosmer, Francoeur, and Bettamy coming up here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Grounded to Santiago. Hosmer is out, 1 away. Royals and Fox Sports Kansas City present our 2nd University Day game with KU night at Kauffman Stadium. That's coming up on July 23rd. All Jayhawk fans are invited to take advantage of special ticket prices. Join us for a special pregame activity and much more. Presented by the TV home of the Big 12, Fox Sports Kansas City. We're taking a look at that replay again in between innings, and producer Kevin Schenk was pointing out to us that Alex Avila, for whatever reason, he went sliding back into second base with his head up. If his head is down, it is a double play. The inning is over. The Tigers get nothing in the 4th inning, but here's the diving play by Escobar. Now just keep an eye on Avila's head and his helmet. If he puts his head down, that's a double play. The inning's over.
They take a look at that left arm. It didn't really get out in front of him, and that might be the reason it stayed up. Once he went to dive, the left arm came back underneath, and that kept him up. And normally if they go straight out front with both hands, he gets lower.
Getz had his foot on the bag. If he catches that, it would have been a Tiger threat with no runs. Two balls and 2 strikes on Francoeur. But instead, 4 runs, all coming with 2 outs. And the Tigers were able to get into the Royals bullpen in the 4th inning. Jeff Francoeur tonight has just missed 2 home runs. Flied out deep to left field in the 1st inning with Andy Dirks making a fine running play. And then flied out to deep center field in the 3rd, driving Casper Wells to the warning track. Yep, people yelled balk, so all the runners move up. People just love to yell balk.
Something.
I mean, is there anything else that? What else just randomly is? Yeah. So here's how the runners all move up with the balk. And you think of another call that fans just love to scream out more than anything else. A broken bat, and Kelly with a long throw that's in time.
It might not be a call, but you go to games and you hear fans a lot of times if they think this pitch is a strike and it's called a ball, everybody says, "Come on, blue." Right. No matter what color the umpire's got on,
That's true.
This is blue.
That's true.
But some things are just automatic in the game.
Wilson Betemit starting at third base tonight, 1 for 2. He has scored a run. Fouls the first pitch away. Mike Moustakas getting the night off, and Ned Yost saying during batting practice that it had as much to do with getting Betemit into a game than it was giving Moustakas a night off. Moustakas 0 for his last 21. And as it turned out, Ned didn't want to see Chris Getz thrown out of the game early last night, but it gives Betemit the opportunity basically to play back-to-back games.
And that really helps. And he's got him a base hit already tonight. And I think that's what it's all about, is finding opportunities to get you guys in the game. Not getting guys thrown out of the ball game, but you know, sometimes it's just not bad to just give a guy a day off, you know, in this game. You know, you play a lot of games, and you know, Moose is still learning how to perform at this level on a regular basis and on a consistent basis. And you got to pick spots sometimes to give guys days off.
One hop out to Rayburn, and Adam Wilk has a 1-2-3 bottom of the fourth. Top of the fifth inning. It has been a game dominated by the hitters. Both teams with 9 hits. Royals with a very big lead early on, 9-2, and then the Tigers coming back with 4 runs in the top of the fourth.
Well, the Royals really know they're in a ball game right now, Ryan. I really like this.
It's cold here.
It's cold. Oh, it feels great. Oh, yeah, good. But,
anyway, carry on.
Anyway, they know they're in a ball game, and there's a lot of innings for the bullpen to cover. So you don't like for the bullpen to have to cover that many innings, but they got a long way to go, and it's a new ball game. And what's happened prior to the number 4 innings, now it's going to be different the rest of the way. That felt pretty nice. Mm-hmm. Wait till tomorrow.
You need 2 of those.
Glad you didn't pop the top, though.
All 6 runs charged to Luke Hochevar with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Greg Holland came on and got Don Kelly to line out to center field. So his first full inning. Alex Avila was involved in the 4-run 4th. Kelly singled to begin the inning, so Royals ahead by 7. That wasn't really too threatening, but then Avila doubled, and all of a sudden 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. 1 ball, 2 strikes against Holland. Ryan Rayburn walked, so then the bases loaded, nobody out, and then Hochevar almost got out of it. He struck out Casper Wells, and then Andy Dirks, the key play in the inning, line to Escobar, who made a great diving play and almost doubled up Avila at second base. Avila strikes out here. 1 down in the 5th inning. Calling all ladies. Join us at Kauffman Stadium Saturday, July 23rd for Girls Night Out, presented by KC Chevy Dealers. The event will feature free massages, mini makeovers, dueling pianos from Howl at the Moon, and the first 10,000 ladies will receive a special powder blue KC cap presented by your Kansas City Chevy Dealers. Proceeds benefit the American Heart Association. That's the Royals and the Tampa Bay Rays. So former Royal Johnny Damon will be in town. I don't know the answer to this question, but as Derek Jeter got his 3,000th hit today and he was circling the bases, he did it with a home run. One of the shots after that was Johnny Damon in the Rays dugout, Jeter's teammate with the Yankees. Is he next on the list? Is he the next closest to 3,000 hits? Ryan Rayburn has reached twice and scored twice. And that's drilled to left center field. Long run for Alex, and it's off the screen. Alex didn't pick it up right away, but no further advance for Rayburn, who has his second double.
Hey, this is a cutter here, Ryan. And just 88 miles an hour, just stayed in the middle of the plate. And hey, Rayburn, I mean, he's a crippled hitter, is what they call him. I mean, he's not hitting for a high average, but when you leave the ball out over the plate, and if he can get to it, he really puts a charge in him when it comes off his bat.
Joel Goldberg doing some exhaustive research. Thanks, Joel. Ivan Rodriguez is next on the list, closest to 3,000 hits. Bunted foul by Casper Wells. Then Omar Vizquel. Then Alex Rodriguez. Then Johnny Damon. As far as current players, the first two are mostly part-time players now. Ivan Rodriguez and Omar Vizquel. Look at that. Voila.
You ask and you shall receive.
So Rodriguez and Damon would be the only regular players on that list. Vizquel is 44. 1-1 on Casper Wells. Two balls, one strike. Danny Duffy started the game on Thursday and gave the Royals 6 quality innings. Gave up 2 runs, 4 hits, and that was 4 straight quality starts, if you like that stat, going back to the Chicago series. And now tough starts back to back. Kyle Davies last night, 5 runs in 6 innings. And now Luke Kochevar, 6 runs in 3 2/3 innings. It's 3-1 on Casper Wells. And if the Royals do anything during the upcoming trading deadline, the first trading deadline, which is July the 31st, will the Royals be getting any starting pitching in return? 3-2.
We want to look at the life on Derek Holland's fastball. You see how it jumps right in on Casper Wells, and it almost ties him up. But the Royals are asking the bullpen to do a lot tonight. They're asking him to cover at least 12 outs, and that's a bunch for a bullpen. So
got underneath it, had a pretty good swing, but lifts it to left center field. And Melky with a strong throw, a perfect throw to Betemit. So Rayburn makes a good choice by holding at second base.
What the city does here is gets himself in real good position, gets behind this ball, and his weight, everything's coming forward and really help his legs help him make that throw. And you see him come right through this ball right in, and that's what the base runner watches, and that's what the third base coach watches. If he catches that ball flat-footed, Rayburn might be able to make it to third base.
So it's Andy Dirks with a runner at second base and 2 outs. Takes way outside from Holland. 1 for 3. One of his outs was a line out, and a great play at short by Escobar. Dirks has also singled and scored a run. Skips away from Trainer. So Rayburn to third on a wild pitch. Two and one. Line to Getz. Tigers are scoreless in the fifth. At one point had a 7-run lead. All right, Derek Jeter got his 3,000th hit earlier today. And in our AT&T trivia question, who are the 4 players to have 4 or more hits in the game in which they reached 3,000 career hits? So Jeter and 3 others. Jeter finished 5 for 5.
Yeah, you got to think about guys who get a lot of hits anyway, and you know, you think about Carew, you think about Boggs, you know, guys who customarily get 3 hits a game.
I thought George had 4 hits.
We'll put him in there.
Okay. Matt Trainer, a single, a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored. facing Adam Wilk. He came on in the 3rd inning with 2 outs. Got Billy Butler and retired the side in order in the 4th. Tigers starter Charlie Furbush went 2 2/3 innings. Royals starter Luke Hochevar 3 2/3 innings. Matt Trainer, Alcides Escobar, and Chris Getz here in the 5th inning. Good swing, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, both teams' bullpens have a lot of work to do tonight.
Struck him out, so Wilk comes back from 3-0, and that's his first strikeout. Stay connected to the Royals on Twitter by following @Royals. For breaking news, instant game discussion, and special discounts, there's no better place. Follow @Royals today. Alcides Escobar has been a part of 2 big plays in the 2nd inning, rounded into a fielder's choice, and without his hustle it could have been a double play. And then the Royals end up with just 1 run in the inning as opposed to 3. And then in the 3rd inning, with 2 outs and a runner at first, he hit a routine ground ball to Ramon Santiago at short. It got through Santiago. So instead of the inning being over, the Royals ended up with 5 unearned runs. So he's 0 for 2 tonight, but that's only part of the story. 2 runs scored, an RBI, and a stolen base.
Well, that's playing a big part in why you get a big lead, and you need these little things to happen to keep those innings going. Sometimes you help yourself, sometimes the other team gives you help, and you take advantage of it.
There are some games that you win, and there are some games that the other team just lost.
They just lose. Yeah, you're right.
You end up getting a win in the win column. Escobar just missed the foul pole in the left field corner. So you end up with the win, but in the bigger picture, the other team really just lost the game, gave the game away. And if the game finishes as it is right now, yes, the Royals made the most of that Santiago error, but the Tigers are going to go into the clubhouse feeling like they gave the game away.
Right, most games both teams are going to make a mistake or two in every game that you play, and it's how well you overcome that mistake as to whether or not you're going to have success that night or not.
Three and two. And we'll do it again. One-out walk to Alcides Escobar, and for Adam Wilk, that's the first base runner he's allowed. Adam Wilk out of Cal State Long Beach, drafted in 2009 by Phil Hutman, who was a Royals scout for a while, scouting for the Tigers. Signed Adam Wilk, and now he'll get a left-hand batter, Chris Getz. This is Getz' first at bat against Wilk. He had 2 hits, an RBI, and 2 runs scored against Charlie Furbush. Pitch is inside, ball 1.
Chris did a real good job hitting that shortstop hole for his first base hit to left field, and he came back and got a hanging curveball that he hit the right field for a base hit. So he's starting to get back to his swing again in that leadoff spot.
Inside again, 2-0. He has everything you would want from a leadoff hitter. For the most part, a good eye. He has very good speed. 16 stolen bases, including his 16th tonight. He can lay down a bunt, so he can become very creative in ways that he gets on base. So far, the numbers really haven't panned out for Chris Getz as the Royals leadoff man. Perhaps headed in the right direction tonight with 2 hits and 2 runs scored. Well, speaking of fans screaming balk, there are several over on the first base side that believe that Wilk is doing something illegal to try and pick off Alcides Escobar. What he has done is he's given Escobar about 2 or 3 different looks, 2 or 3 different moves. So far, Alcides has read all of them. That one had him going back to first as Wilk misses inside to Chris Getz.
You know, most managers don't like to put the hit and run on with a left-hander on the mound, so the guy on first doesn't get a good jump. But this is really an ideal situation that the Royals would want to see on a regular basis with Escobar at first, Chris Getz at the plate, and now you can manufacture some situations for the ball club.
Way out in front, and he's going to hit that one into the upper deck on the right field side. 3-2. That guy didn't figure he'd be getting a souvenir tonight. Not where he's sitting, and especially with a left-hand batter up. That ball was never fair. And now Getz walks, so on base 3 times tonight. And after getting a strikeout against Matt Trainer, Adam Wilk has walked back-to-back hitters. And Jim Leyland has to be pretty frustrated with the way this game is going and the way the Tigers have tried to come back. Tigers are in no place right now to be giving the Royals any free runners, and now you're getting into the middle of the order. And Melky into center field for a base hit. Escobar coming around third. Here's the throw from Wells. It's cut off, and the Tigers will get Chris Getz in between second and third. The Royals make it 10-6 as Cabrera gets his second hit and his second RBI tonight. That's the 3rd run scored for Escobar.
See right here, Rhino, this is line drive right back to the middle. Escobar comes around the score, and Chris Getz, you watch the height of that throw, and that'll tell you whether or not you can go to third or not. So the ball hit that hard. You might want to try to stay at second base on that play, especially if the throw is down, and keep this inning going for the Royals. You know, Jim Leyland, you mentioned he's probably going to be upset, right? He had the previous 2 walks issued have scored also. before this inning. So every time they walk the run tonight, one of them scores.
Alex Gordon hit a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 3rd inning, turning a 2-run inning into a 5-run inning. Been on base 3 times. 1 ball, 1 strike against Wilk. He has driven in 4 in this series, going 6 for 10. He has Melky Cabrera at second base with 2 outs. And now Melky on his way to third as Alex fouls it back to the netting. Well, we know the Royals are running this year. They continue to lead the league in stolen bases. They have 3 more tonight, giving them 91. But it seems lately they've been running so much. They've been trying to steal third base so often with 2 outs, which can be a dangerous play with a hitter at the plate like Alex Gordon, and he's a left-hand hitter. So there's a wide open lane for the catcher Avila to throw down to third.
That's true, and teams are starting to get a little bit smarter in that situation. Royals have been caught a couple times with the inside move trying to steal third base, but I just really feel like in this situation, 2 outs, you got a 4-run lead. You know, you got a guy at second base that can score on a base hit, so, and you got a guy at the plate that's swinging the bat well. So I would just let him go ahead and swing the bat right here.
You've also pointed out too that it can be a distraction for the hitter.
It really is, especially when you get down to your last strike and you see that guy break. It's got to break your concentration a little bit.
Got him looking. Tom Hallion's happy. Royals had a run in the 5th inning. Tobacco Quit line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Third inning for Greg Holland, his second full inning. On in relief in the 4th of Luke Hochevar. Eddie Rodriguez with a nice play in the Royals dugout. His first responsibility was to try and help out Matt Trainer. He was pointing in the air to where that bunt was, and the ball just kept making its way towards Eddie, who just casually made a one-handed, bare-handed grab.
Another infielder shows up. He doesn't make that catch. He gets a lot of grief from the guys in the dugout. So nice, easy play, and getting congratulatory remarks from the fans sitting there in the crown seats. He just says, "Okay,
Yeah.
okay."
Ain't nothing but a thing.
That's an old saying. Let's go twice.
Ramon Santiago 1 for 3, drove in a run in the 4th inning, came around to score. But what's weighing on his mind now is the error he committed in the 3rd inning, turning a potential scoreless inning into a 5-run inning for the Royals, and the Tigers are down by 4. 3 balls, 1 strike. Brendan Bosch after him, and then Miguel Cabrera. And 2. And Santiago strikes out. So Tom Hallion, who has been waiting all night to ring somebody up, now gets to ring up 2 in a row. We got Alex Gordon for the final out of the 5th, and now Santiago to begin the 6th.
We're going to take a look.
Knows how to play to the camera right behind home plate. That's the Tom Hallion camera.
You got to practice that move.
No, I don't. Oh, you mean he does? I thought you meant I need to practice that move. Brendan Bosch struck out in the 1st inning. That made him 0 for 9, and then RBI singles in his next 2 at-bats. And now 3 straight hits. He'll take a wide turn, but hold with a 1-out single. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre with Frank White, Joe Goldberg, producer Kevin Shank, director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, and the producer of Royals Live is Jeff Graham. Miguel Cabrera drove in a run with a single in the 3rd inning, walked in the 4th, which loaded the bases. Then Victor Martinez walked, forcing in a run, and that was the last batter to face Luke Hochevar. Two balls and 1 strike. We have some fun with Tom Hallion, the home plate umpire, but all kidding aside, it's good to see him in the game. He was one of those umpires that took the poor advice of their union leader in 1999 and went on strike. And he lost his job for a few years as Major League Baseball replaced all of the umpires. Several got their jobs back, but not all of them. So Tom Hallion was a National League umpire for about 12, 13 years, and then out of the game for several years. There is no difference between American League and National League umpires these days. They're just one group of umpires, and now he is a crew chief. The Royals turn a double play. The Tigers are scoreless in the 6th.
contestant is Sandra Williams from Marshall, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run this inning, Sandra will win $4,400. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Sandra will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Well, it's been a while since we've had a winner.
How would you like an ice cold cherry limeade on a night like tonight?
Oh, they're great, aren't they?
Billy Butler leads off against Adam Wilk. He's been in there since the third inning. Jim Leland had to go to his bullpen very early. The Royals scored 9 runs off of Charlie Furbush in 2 2/3. 5 of those runs were unearned. Wilk has allowed 1 run in 2 1/3 innings. So Sandra, you have Billy Butler, Eric Hosmer, and Jeff Francoeur coming up. After that, Wilson Bettamy. And Billy picks up his 3rd hit tonight. So he ended the game last night with the bases loaded, the tying run at second base with a fly out to right. 3 hits, 2 RBIs tonight.
That's good to see him swinging the bat, and the fastball, middle, in. Did a good job turning up, get the hands out front. Line drive over Kelly at third base. He's got the most intense eyes when the ball meets the bat, and you can see right there, gets those hands out front, gets through the ball, and finishes high. Classic swing.
A strike to Eric Hosmer. Hitless in 3 at-bats, but with a force out in the first inning, drove in his 34th run. He faced Adam Wilk in the 4th inning and grounded out to short. And a check swing, slow roller to third, and Kelly will go to first. Butler moves up to second base. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. And now the Royals have Jeff Francoeur coming to the plate. Adam Wilk, in since the 3rd inning, is now going to come out. And it'll be Ryan Perry to face Francoeur when we come back. They bat in the bottom of the 6th inning. We invite you to join us for a unique dining experience at Kauffman Stadium. The 390 Bar and Grill features a private bar, 65-inch high-definition TVs throughout the restaurant, and a climate-controlled environment. An affordable way to enjoy the game with friends and family, and it's open to the public. Located on the third base side of the Lowe's level, next to Section 301. For more information, visit Royals.com/390 Bar and Grill. It's Ryan Perry, who had an impressive rookie year in 09, and it's been a struggle the last 2 years. He has been on the disabled list this year. He had a left eye infection very early in the season, and an ERA just under 8. Ball one to Jeff Francoeur. Drafted in the first round in 08, and then he was in the big leagues in 09. 3.79 ERA. Last year started the year as the Tigers setup man. That didn't work out. Also spent time on the DL. Went 3-5, and now this year 7.78 earned run average.
Yeah, that's a quick rise to the major leagues, and mainly was on the power of his fastball. And you know, when you get to this level, it's not about power. It's about being able to pitch and locate, and that's where I think most of these young pitchers' trouble starts, when they get to the major league. Have early success, but then the league kind of figures you out a little bit. When they figure you can't put these pitches where you want to put them on a regular basis, and they kind of wait you out a little bit.
And he comes out of the pen and falls behind Francoeur. 3 balls, no strikes. In his first 2 at-bats, Francoeur just missed hitting home runs. Flight out to deep left field in the first. Andy Dirks made a nice running play. And to the warning track in center field in the third. And Francoeur swinging away. It's 3-1. And 2. Royals with 1 in the first, 3 in the second for a 4-0 lead. Tigers got 2 in the third to cut the lead in half. And then the Royals with a 5-run bottom of the third for a 9-2 lead. Tigers came right back and got 4 in the fourth to make it 9-6. A run for the Royals in the fifth. It's a long run out for Rayburn. Fumbled it, dropped it. It's a fair ball. And Billy Butler will go to third base. So he lost control of the ball in fair territory. It hit the grass in foul territory. Therefore, a fair ball and 2 on with 1 out.
Rayburn gets there, and you see he's got the best angle for this play. And he caught the ball down below his eyes, and the ball didn't settle into the webbing of the glove, and they had trouble holding on to it. You can see right there, he's the only one out there all by himself. And the ball settled in toward the heel of the glove. It went to the top of the glove, popped out, and he just couldn't get it corralled. I think the key thing you said there, Ryan, when he touched the ball, is in fair territory.
And now the ball gets away from Avila. Francoeur moves up. Oh, a wild pitch. And if the Tigers are hoping for a ground ball and a double play, forget about it. Second and third with 1 out.
Billy, you okay? You see, Billy was in a mad scramble to get back to third base after attempting to come home on this wild pitch here. You can see right there, this is fast. See, scramble into a base right there. Those feet really get moving when that little panic sets in.
It's into a bear crawl there for a few strides.
He's got a big smile on his face. He won't hear the end of that one.
Well, the Tigers still hoping for a ground ball and a double play. So they will intentionally walk Wilson Betemit and load the bases for Matt Trainer. Second error committed by the Tigers. The first one cost them 5 runs. So what will the Royals do with this error? It was Santiago's error and Short in the third inning, and now Rayburn in the sixth. Matt Trainer with the bases loaded, 1 away.
Well, Sandra Williams got to be pretty excited, you know, watching this situation as it unfolds here in this inning with the bases loaded. Stands to win $4,400. And I'm sorry, grand slam. That'll be 25 grand. Wow. You can go to Hawaii a couple times.
We've only seen one grand slam this year, and it was hit by Toronto's Adam Lynn here at Kauffman Stadium 1 month ago yesterday. Perry's lucky he didn't go any further than that, or a scream of a balk would have been a balk. As Cabrera was not at first base.
Yeah, didn't quite understand that one.
Yeah, Perry thought that Bedamit was going to steal second, therefore putting runners at third and 2 at second base to put 3 runners in scoring position. So you can understand his thinking. One on Trainer. A single, a ground out, an error, and an intentional walk has loaded up the bases. 3 completely different games on Thursday night. A pitching dominated game. The Tigers a little better than the Royals. Max Scherzer and Danny Duffy. Tigers won 3-1. Last night, Tigers had a 5-3 lead at the end of 3. Very little scoring after that, and they won 6-4. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Trainer. And now a hitting dominated game with 16 runs combined, 22 hits. And there's only 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Two and two. Ryan Perry, first round pick of the Tigers in 2008 out of the University of Arizona. In 2009, the Tigers gambled a bit. They had a couple of very young pitchers on their roster. Rick Porcello, who was 20 years old and a starter, and Ryan Perry pitching out of the bullpen. He had been drafted just the year before. Still 2-2. Pretty good heat there, 95 miles an hour.
He's kind of operating on 2 pitches, his fastball and hard slider, and I think those are the 2 pitches as a guy coming out of the bullpen for 1 inning. That's what you want to be able to master. But then showing the ability to throw anything, slower, so Trainer can kind of keep his timing together on either one of those pitches, depending on location.
Right center field, well hit. That's deep enough to get a runner home. Bosch makes the play. 2 runners move up. Billy Butler scores, and it's 11-6.
That was a good battle by Trainer that at bat. He battled some pretty tough pitches and finally worked himself into a sac fly and an RBI. You see the pitch right here is from Perry. Just breaking ball out over the plate, and Trainer stayed with it, didn't try to pull it, and got it deep enough in the right field there to get him an RBI. You see Billy streaking home from third base.
And 95 miles an hour to Alcides Escobar. He has scored 3 runs tonight. He even though he's 0 for 2. A board on a fielder's choice in the second inning, scored. Reached on a big error in the third, scored. And then walked and scored in the fifth. Stayed under the chin, 1 ball, 1 strike. Drilled to left center field. All the way to the screen. Francoeur scores. Benamit is around third. Escobar into third. He is safe with a 2-run triple.
That's a fastball. He really turned on it. You don't see Escobar hit a ball this hard very often. The turn on this 94-mile-an-hour fastball got it into the gap in left center field. And you can see him right away. He's not slowing up. He's seeing what's going on in front of him and continues into third base. He goes in there real hard and just does get in there ahead of the throw.
So 3 runs for the Royals in this inning, all unearned. 8 unearned runs allowed by the Tigers tonight. And now Chris Getz. 2 hits, a walk, a stolen base, 2 runs scored, an RBI. 1-1. Oh my. That would be a blowout.
New pair of slacks.
Two balls, 1 strike.
When you see a slide like this, Ryan, you look at maybe a little bit late on the slide, but that front foot, the way it hit that base like that, I mean, that's a good way to hurt an ankle or a knee right there. I mean, it just hit that base and just popped right across. And usually on a pop-up slide, you want to come up on top with that lead foot stand on the base.
3 balls, 1 strike on Getz. That was the second base umpire, Alan Porter, who made that call. So that was the umpire shift on that particular play. Third base umpire James Hoy was responsible for what was going on in the outfield. So Alan Porter had to run over from second base. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So there's Porter, just to the right of Ryan Perry. So a good hustle by the base runners.
So he knows right away.
Hustle by the umpires.
And they work those 2-man crews in the minor leagues, and you see them work 3-man crews in spring training sometimes. I mean, AAA sometimes. So they learn those rotation systems pretty good. When you get to 4 guys, you really got to have it together when you go out there.
Tigers in pursuit, and it's Andy Dirks, a fair ball catch to end the inning. The Royals get 3 runs and lead by 7. the 7th inning. And remind you that Pepsi Max is the official soft drink of the Fox Sports Kansas City broadcast booth. It is also a proud supporter of the Royals 5K, benefiting Variety Children's Charity. You can run or walk, and it all benefits Kansas City kids. Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Everett Teaford called up, and Danny Duffy was sent down so that Danny could continue to make his starts. He'll make one at AAA and then rejoin the Royals in Minnesota. So Teaford is up, pitching with a big lead. The Royals have 9 outs to go on defense. Tigers scored all 6 of the runs against Hochevar in 3 2/3. And now Greg Holland, who is the pitcher of record, pitched 2 1/3 scoreless. Victor Martinez has doubled. He is lined to second on one of the best plays tonight. Chris Getz jumping up, plucking it out of the sky, taking a hit and an RBI away from Martinez. And then Martinez walked with the bases loaded in the 4th. That was the last batter that Hochevar faced tonight. One and 2. Royals discovered Everett Teaford at Georgia Southern back in '06. Took him in the 12th round. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Teaford grew up in Georgia, but he has family in this area. His dad born in Nebraska, and then the family moved to Topeka, and then after that to Kansas City. His father went to Bishop Miege, then joined the military, finished his schooling at Penn State, then Georgia Tech, and that's how the family got to Georgia. Good start for him as he strikes out Victor Martinez, one of the hottest hitters in the American League, and 1 down in the 7th inning. Well, fans, check out FoxSportsKansasCity.com to relive a great memory in Royals history. As the Yankees' Derek Jeter just got his 3,000th hit, joined Hall of Famer George Brett as he recalls that magical night when he came up with 4 hits and got 3,000 in Anaheim. Columnist Steve Cameron tells the story, one every Royals fan can enjoy. FoxSportsKansasCity.com. On that topic, Frank, who were the 4 players to have 4 or more hits in the game which they reached 3,000? Well, Derek Jeter today, George Brett. How about Craig Biggio?
Oh, that's a good name. I'm gonna say Robin Yount, maybe.
Tony Gwynn. We didn't get Tony Gwynn, who had the great thrill of getting his 3,000th hit in Montreal. Alex Avila 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. David Holtzman of the Royals PR staff is from San Diego, grew up a big Padres fan, and you bring up Tony Gwynn's 3,000 hit, man, he just shakes his head. Should have been done in San Diego in front of the home crowd, and said he did it in Montreal in front of 17 people.
So why didn't they wait until he came home?
Yeah. Well, he got 4 hits in the game.
Take him out. Take him out. You know, they took me out of the game in Texas, so, you know, wanted me to get my 2,000 hit here in Ross Stadium at that time. So, hey, Tony, you don't want to do it here.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Avila. Teaford first called up back in the middle of May when Vin Mazzaro was sent down, and was with the Royals for a little over a month. And he was the roster casualty when Bruce Chen came off the disabled list. That's driven to left center field, slicing away from Melky, but he still runs it down. Good night for the bullpen so far, with 3 in the third, scoreless innings. Cetus Escobar making sure his bat is ready for his next at-bat tonight. He is already our Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment.
What a big night for him, Ryan. Just did a great job just hustling down at first base there to get himself an RBI to keep an inning going. And he's been able to put together a pretty good night with his bat, with this triple right here to drive in a couple runs. And now we get to see what we've been seeing all year. Great defense out of Escobar. This could have turned into a great play had not hit the helmet of Alex Avila. But he'll go back and say, did you see me hit that triple?
Brian Perry stays on for the 7th. He replaced Adam Wilk in the 6th inning, gave up a couple of runs. Good night for Melky. 2 hits, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Royals have scored in every inning tonight except for the 4th. 1 in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd, 5 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th. 3 in the 6th. Of the 13 runs the Royals have scored tonight, 8 have been unearned runs. Two and 2. 5 unearned runs in the 3rd inning, and then 3 in the 6th. An error by Santiago, the shortstop, in the 3rd, and an error by Rayburn, the second baseman, in the 6th.
Ryan, funny you mentioned that. Just did a little bit of research. It is tied for the second most unearned runs scored in a game by the Royals in franchise history. They scored 13 unearned runs on September 12, 1976 against Minnesota. They won that game, by the way, 16-6. And they scored 8 unearned runs same year, May 24th, 1976 against Texas. They won that game 14-11.
You remember how you did in those games, Frank?
Nope.
No way.
But I'll bet Joel can find it.
I can.
I just say tonight the Royals offense has just been very opportunistic.
Well, Split pitched in relief in one of them. And Frank White went 1 for 4 with 4 RBIs in the game against Minnesota.
4 ribbies?
4.
Wow. With 1 hit, so that had to have been a home run in there.
Triple. Sack fly.
Triple sack fly. Alex scored 2 out of 4 with that ground ball to second base. He has a 3-run home run tonight.
Thank you, Joel.
Well, we got to look at the other one, too, because you could have dominated in the other one. I mean, that game, there were 16 runs scored overall. This one was 14. So let's see. If I don't find it, I'll just make it up. 14-11, the Royals won, and Frank White went 1 for 5 with 1 run and an RBI.
Nice, Frank. Good work. Nice to contribute. And good work for the Royals so far tonight, leading 13-6 at the end of 7. Scoreboard brought to you by Panera Bread. Derek Jeter 5 for 5, got his 3,000th hit. It was a home run. Chicago ends a 4-game losing streak. They beat Minnesota. It was Toronto over Cleveland in 10 innings. Jose Bautista hitting 2 more home runs, so that gives him 31 on the year. Meanwhile, Everett Teaford pitching to Ryan Rayburn here in the 8th inning. No balls, 2 strikes. Here are the rest of the American League games. It was Boston beating Baltimore. Boston's won 5 in a row. Baltimore has lost 6 straight. Oakland trying to beat Texas. Texas has won 5 in a row, and it's the Angels in front of Seattle. Angels 1 game back of the Rangers. One and 2 on Rayburn. 2 doubles, a walk, 2 runs scored. Right now, thinking about an error that he committed in the 6th inning that led to 3 unearned runs. The Royals have scored 8 unearned runs tonight, and as Joel just told us, that's the 2nd most in Royals history.
Ryan, a little bit more research, not too much on it, but the Minnesota game with the 13 unearned runs, there were 6 errors committed by Minnesota. The Texas game, there were 7 errors committed in that game.
That is not an error. That's Mitch Meyer, who somehow appeared in right field out of nowhere. And when jumping up against the barrier wall in right field. crowd reacting again as they see the replay up on Crown Vision.
This is really just knowing exactly where you are. He took a look down to see where he was and did a great job of watching the ball and controlling himself into the wall. Got the lead foot on there, caught the ball, slid right down the wall. Just an outstanding play. Everett Tiefert had to kind of clap on that one because that's a foul ball. You want to record all the outs of foul balls that you can.
So Meyer in the game in right field. And there's a base hit from Casper Wells, making him 1 for 4. So Meyer with a nice play on Ryan Rayburn, who has committed a critical error tonight. Andy Dirks 1 for 4, could easily be 3 out of 4. He has 2 lineouts. Hits that one into left center field. And Alex Gordon makes the play. There are 2 down in the 8th inning. Good night so far from the bullpen, and Ned Yost needed a lot of his bullpen tonight as he had to make a call to the pen in the 4th inning. Greg Holland has given Ned 2 1/3 scoreless, and now Everett Tiefert an inning and 2/3 scoreless. Santiago batting right-handed for the first time tonight. Tiefert wanted it, but Escobar makes the call and the catch. So make it 4 1/3 scoreless for the Royals pen tonight.
The big crowd. When we come back, we'll be talking about a big night for the Royals offense as they make the Tigers pay for a couple of key errors. Also going to look back at Luke Hochevar's start as once again he struggles in the middle innings. Plenty of highlights, reaction, Jeff Montgomery analysis, and more on Boulevard Royals Live. Guys.
All right. Thank you, Joe. We'll look forward to that. Everett Tiefert with 2 scoreless innings. Tiefert saying that he realizes that the plan probably calls for him to go back to AAA when Danny Duffy rejoins the Royals in Minnesota, but hopes to pitch well enough with the Royals to make them reconsider. And he's off to a good start. Lester Oliveros will take over in the bottom of the 8th inning. 0-1 to Eric Hosmer. 0 for 4, but Hosmer does have an RBI.
Now you have to think that Ned Yost would love to have the 2 lefties in the bullpen. That's something that gives him a lot of balance, and Tiefert really fits that bill.
So Hosmer 0 for 5. Second time the Royals have seen Oliveros pitch last night. Wasn't in there very long. In fact, only faced one batter, and it was Billy Butler, and got him on a ground ball to short. That was that fantastic play by Johnny Peralta. So Mitch Meyer, who came on in the top of the 8th inning and made a great play up against the padded wall in right field. Jeff Francoeur was 0 for 4, but Francoeur reached on an error by Rayburn in the 6th inning. Came around to score in the Royals' 3-run 6th inning. Don Kelly throws high, but Cabrera handles it 2 down. Remember, fans, the next time you want to catch a Royals game, head to StubHub, where you'll find the seats you want and the freedom to choose where you want to sit. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Kansas City Royals. There are the StubHub upgrade seats with the leather recliners. You got Fox Sports Kansas City right in front of you, as well as the game. The game live, that is, the game in person.
I'd like to see that leather seat be air conditioned.
It might be.
That's not going to feel good tomorrow.
Olsen Betemit has scored twice tonight. Single and intentional walk. 1 and 2 against Oliveros. Hits the wire on top of the screen and goes down into the crown seats. Two and 2. Pena thinking about trying to catch that foul ball. Showing Kyle Davies that had overspin. That was not the right hop. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Royals had scored in 5 of 7 innings. They scored 5 runs in the first 2 games and now 13 runs tonight. Santiago, who has committed a big error tonight, throws out Betemit, and we go to the 9th inning. 3 outs to go for the Royals to win Game 3 in the series. runs than hits. The biggest hit, however, is our Chevrolet play of the game.
Alex Gordon picks on a curveball and drives it to center field, right? A 3-run homer for him, and just kept the Royals with a comfortable lead.
So Everett Teaford stays on for the 9th inning, pitching to Brennan Bosch, then Miguel Cabrera, followed by Victor Martinez. 2 scoreless for Everett Teaford, his first outing since being recalled from AAA. Three balls and no strikes. A 3-hit game for Bosch with 2 RBIs. 4 make that 3 RBIs in the series. 3-1. Jeff Francis tomorrow against Justin Verlander. He's 11-4. 1:10 game tomorrow. Ivy Royals Live is at 12:30. Good day to bring the kids out. It's Kids Fest. Special appearances tomorrow from Nickelodeon stars SpongeBob SquarePants and Dora the Explorer. And then the first 8,000 kids aged 14 and under will get a Royals superhero cape, courtesy of U.S. Toy. Teaford comes back after falling behind 3-0. That's his second strikeout tonight.
Oh, that's impressive. Very impressive.
And now Teaford gets Miguel Cabrera. Remember, you can secure your priority to the 2012 All-Star Game with prorated 2011 season tickets. And when you buy 2, you get 2 free, starting at just $7 per game. 2 down in the 9th inning. So if you're thinking about the All-Star Game next year here at Kauffman Stadium, prorated season tickets this year will get you priority seats to the All-Star Game. Go to Royals.com for more information, or you can call 816-504-4040. Almost 26,000 here tonight. We'll watch the Royals put on a show on offense with 13 runs. The Tigers have had a bad night on defense. 2 errors have cost them 8 unearned runs. Tigers winning the first 2 games. Final game of the series is tomorrow, and the Royals will be going for a 4-game split. Great night for the bullpen. And the bullpen had to take over in the 4th inning. But they pick up the Royals, turning in 5 1/3 scoreless innings. Greg Holland 2 1/3. Everett Teaford 3 scoreless. And on offense, the Royals with 13 runs.